Starting to the bottom right, we have currently the Zerg player in blue.
Samsung Galaxy Loro.
Lolo, also known as Roro. He was able to take down a Protoss player in the first round, going up against a fellow Zerg player now. Starting up to the top right, we have his opponent.
CJ Hydra.
Also known as Hydra.
Yes.
So, just to talk a little bit about the two players in the first round, we had Roro with a 2-1 over Classic, defeated the Protoss player and made sure that Classic now has to go through the WCS Challenger League qualifier in Korea once again if he wants to participate in the individual league here. Hydra, on the other hand, was successful versus Yonghwa, who lost already in the Premier League and then had to face the Zerg player in the first round of the Challenger League. So Yonghwa, with the same fate, has to go through the qualifier again if he wants to participate in the first season of 2014. The two Zergs are going to fight it out here, and the winner will go up against another Zerg player. And right now we have actually already a bit of a difference in build orders. Just a slight one, but currently we have Pool into Gas. And that makes it actually really interesting, because up to this point I was expecting Pool into Hatch. But we have Pool into Gas versus Hatch first.
You know, Hatch first, I like it as a build on this map because it's such a big map. It is a 4-player map. Even if you spawn vertically or horizontally close, then you still have a ways to go. But on the other hand, Roro, with a faster speed here, is going to be able to get an insane amount of map control, especially because of how large this map is with his speedlings. And he, you know, he's going to have a really, really fast ring of speed. In fact, he may even be super aggressive with this. That's just going to be a cancel, of course, there.
He definitely will be. There is no reason whatsoever on a map like this to go into Gas if you don't want to be aggressive from the start. The usual build for him would have actually been just to go into a pool and then start his Hatch. The one thing that is also pretty good for Roro here is that he immediately has the scout at the top right. The overload for Hydra, on the other hand, still has a fair way to go. So he will see that Gas a little bit late here. And speed has already been started. And you can see that the expansion for Roro is very, very late. He builds it at 3:45, and at this time, Hydra's own expansion is nearly completed. So Hydra's Overlord is now actually going to see the timing, and he will immediately be able to deduce that there is been a little bit of weird change. And this is exactly why we have the Spine Collar here. He knows for sure, well, you started not only with the pool first, but most likely you already invested in Gas, because if not for that, you would have had that Hatch a long time ago.
You're absolutely right. So good observation here by Hydra. Starts a Spine Crawler immediately just to be safe. And this Overlord actually, I think he's going to get away, but you know, he may not. And that will actually hurt Hydra in his defense with this next attack coming through here. Those 2 lings are not going to be enough to save the Overlord, and actually, he's not going to get away, I don't think.
No, you can't get away from the Queen. The only thing that you can do is try to make your way onto the high ground, and in this scenario, it wouldn't really have mattered. So already really good moves that we have here by Roro. I really like how he's playing this. He's able to supply block his opponent for a bit, and Roro is now going into a massive amount of Zerglings. And yes, it has been scouted, but at the same time, with the Overlord loss, that also limited the production of Hydra for quite some time.
Yeah. A few queens on the ramp here. 3rd queen about to pop out here. It's all about the transfuses.
And speed kicking in.
Speed kicks in here, and he's got the 1 spine. If he has transfuses, he should be able to hold this, at least the initial wave, and already back at home, Roro is droning up, so he's just going to pressure a lot with this.
Yeah, and he can at least snipe one of the queens here, and that's exactly what he's probably going to do. For now, he's going to actually fight the drones at least a little bit, going for that queen, taking down Harvester number 1, all of them evacuating here. The Spine Crawler, of course, lending its strength to the defense, but 3 Harvesters killed so far, a Spine Crawler forced out. So Roro is probably pretty happy with this, taking the initiative, not doing as much damage as he would like to have to do, but forcing his opponent to play a very defensive game.
Yeah, he sets the pace of the game with this type of strategy. And right now, Hydra adds an evolution chamber as kind of part of a wall, but we'll be using that for upgrades very soon. He's also got double gas up right now, so he actually has twice the gas income of Roro at this point in time. Obviously, Roro mining a little bit earlier. It means he has more gas in total.
Nice cancel. Nice cancel here on the Creep Tumor. I really like it. If you cancel the Creep Tumor, you can then use it again, and he identified that Zerglings would attack it immediately. And now both of them just going to macro it up. Hydra arguably with a bit of a lead here in general, but Roro the one who's putting the moves on, and with him denying the scout early on in the game, taking down the Overlord, he at least can keep hidden what he's doing so far. And that leaves Hydra guessing to a certain extent. Of course, he expects, especially like now, the roach play from his opponent on a map like this, but he at least keeps Hydra in the dark.
You know what's really interesting is the upgrade timings are basically identical, despite how different the openings were. Just goes to show that in ZVZ there's so many different openings that are viable that lead to the same place. And these Lings just continue to try to get a little bit of scouting information. With only 4 left, they have to leave. Both players, Roach Warren's also very similarly timed, and the worker count almost dead even as well. So a lot more larva, on the other hand, for Hydra. Seems to be pooling here to make a ton of roaches, actually.
I'm not quite sure how successful that's actually going to be, but we do not have the lair tech for him just yet. Roro is the only one who starts his lair, so if Hydra doesn't start his own tech very soon, then we will indeed see all these roaches. And yep, there are 9 of them already, and they'll be on their way. But with how the map works and the distance here, I don't think it's going to be a big issue for Roro. He should see that the Hydras are there, sorry, the roaches of course. Unless Hydra really saves in the main base until he has a massive amount and then moves out. Then he might be able to just get there in time before Spine Crawlers and Roaches are done for Roro.
He's got to be careful. I think he actually sniped these queens here. Yeah, that was... even with transfuses, he's definitely going to lose one, I feel. Well, Roaches come out to rescue, but he has to show his Roaches in order to do so, which means that this gives a lot more time to Roro to prepare for what's coming. He can get his own Roaches up and maybe make a Spine Crawler or 2 if he wants to be super safe. And the Overlord sees as well. Yeah,
this is a little bit of a difficult situation for Hydra now. He needs to do a lot of damage with this. If he is not able to do damage, then he will fall far behind. Since he does not have his own tech, we have even an expansion coming up for Roro now. Maybe a little bit overzealous with that, but he's going into a third. He has the better Harvester count already, and also the much better tech than his opponent. If he can stop this wave, he will take a massive lead in this game.
Yeah, but stopping this is not going to be easy. It is a long rest distance, like you said, but he's already here. And the concave better for Roro right now, but he's got to move back. He didn't make any Spine Crawlers.
Oh, he's getting his Roaches on the other hand, and he has the Queens here. They can lend their strength also to the defense. The upgrades are already done. They are both on 1-1 if I'm not mistaken. More and more Roaches now streaming in for Hydra. Immediately the drones are being pulled here, going in and doing their damage. Mineral Ward at first blocking the entrance. The reinforcements streaming in.
Yeah, reinforcements streaming in here. A lot of drones going down.
And Hydra does seem to crush Roro here. Roro does not have enough. He underestimated this push a little bit.
He really did. He made a third base. He did not make any Spine Crawlers, and his Roaches were just a little bit too late. And even the Queens of Hydra coming in here now to help transfuse. And that's going to be all she wrote. So I think Roro just really taken aback by this.
Hydra definitely with way too much damage. Only a few Harvesters left for Roro. 25 against 40. He lost way too much. He thought there was a small push coming out, but he never expected it to be like this massive.
Yeah, massive, massive push. GG.